In this video, we're going to talk about the basic settings and concepts of running end area volumes. And what I have here is I have a design corridor cut through an existing ground surface shown in green and a rock strata surface shown in red. So the first thing I need to do is to designate these as existing in rock, and to do that I'm going to go into their DGN file. And the way we designate what type of surface it is through the feature definition. So I'm going to click on my surface perimeter and see that my feature definition is existing rock surface. And when I go and look at that feature definition in the Project Explorer, right click on it and choose Properties, I see that my volume option is set to substrata here. So that's going to designate it as a rock. I have basically four types here in the volume options. I have existing, which is going to be that existing ground. You're going to get the unclassified cut and fill values off of existing ground separated out in the reports. Our design is going to automatically be designated to our corridor, and substrata is going to be our rock layer. Subgrade is going to basically mimic the bottom layer of all the components, and we'll see how that's used when we cut our cross sections. So after we've designated our terrains to the type of volume they are, we can come in and cut cross sections and get end area volume. So let's go back to our model. And again, I have the existing ground surface. If we look at the triangles real quick on our substrata, we can see that it looks like maybe they took some boring holes at a regular interval across our site. And so that's going to represent our rock layer. So let's go ahead and cut our cross-section set along our center line here. All right, once we have our cross sections cut, we're basically ready for the end area volumes. And at the very basic level in end area volumes command, we can come in and create some annotations. We can show some cut shapes and fill shapes, and we can annotate the area and volume of each section. We'll see up here what surfaces are available. We have our original ground, and it is a type existing. It read our mainline corridor as type design, and it read my limestone strata layer as substratum. So it's going to take those into account when we create the volume. When we hit apply, we'll get our shapes and our annotation out there. I'm going to minimize that for a second. And I want to see those shapes, so I'm going to come in and turn on the fill and view attributes. So what it's done is it reads the design, the items that are designated as design, and it traces along the very bottom path, and it gives us the cut to the very bottom of all the interconnected components. And likewise on the fill, it's going to give us a fill, that unclassified fill volume, up to the bottom of all the components, and the component volumes are going to be calculated separately. So in the fill volume, components are not going to be included. They're going to be included in their own volumes, but you do have to cut out for them when you're going to cut, so those are included here. It looks like we're not getting into the rock at station 0. We are getting into it a little bit, just a little bit here at station 100, and we're getting really into the rock strata at station 200. So when I come back and run a report, I'll expect to see some of this shape area here shown in my report, especially starting at 200 there. So we'll bring the end area volumes command back up. And this time we're going to create an XML report and look at the volumes. All right, it brought up the report browser, and the report I like to look at for end area volumes is actually this volumes.xsl. So I'm going to right click and make that my default end area volume report. All right, I see I do have some cut area there in the station 100. I saw that at station 100 I was just touching into the rock a little bit, and there's my little value there of rock. And at station 200 I was really getting into the rock layer, and I see that my area for rock is there. My unclassified cut down to the bottom of all the components is there, and then each component, their area is shown separately. So we can get down at the bottom of our report, we're going to get a grand total of all those components and of all of our cut and our limestone rock cut.